Hello everyone, welcome to the training program of GitHub Deep Dive. First of all, let's talk about what are the concepts I'm going to cover in this training program. First, I will start with introduction of myself. Who am I? What are the experience I have in IT industry of different domains and what are the certifications I hold. Then followed by, we need to understand what is version control and version control system. In this version control system, we have different types. We need to talk about them as well. Then followed by, we have to focus more on CVCS and DVCS differences, which stands for Centralized Version Control System and Distributed Version Control System. After we understood these basic concepts, we have to focus on Git, which comes under Distributed Version Control System. Then we have to learn the workflow, like how to clone the repository, how to pull the changes, how to push the changes, how to save the changes in the local repository, which stands for workflow. And once we understood the Git workflow, we have to concentrate on different commands that we have to do certain actions on the Git repository, like merging, branches, tags, revert, reset, clone, push, staging, work in DR. All these things we have to learn. Those concepts I'll be teaching you under Git commands. After we understood the way of handling the Git, we need to understand what is CICD, which stands for Continuous Integration and Continuous Delivery or Deployment. Now, after understanding this concept, we need to know how to perform the CICD actions by using GitHub, which stands for GitHub Actions. As part of it, we have to know the working principle of GitHub Actions. For this GitHub Actions, we need to learn the YAML file as well. What are the parameters we have to define in the YAML format to run the GitHub Actions? Now in the GitHub, to run these actions, we have runners. It could be GitHub-hosted agents or it could be self-hosted runners as well. We can choose any one of them as per the requirement. And we will understand the basic differences between these two different runners as well. After that, when you're trying to build the packages by using npm or maven or ant, or maybe you might be building the Docker images as well. Now these particular packages or the images can be stored in GitHub, which is called as packages. We'll be learning that as well. Then followed by projects and then security. For example, if you want to store some sensitive information as part of GitHub Actions, when you're implementing some CI/CD pipelines as part of DevOps or DevSecOps, how will you store the sensitive information? That comes under security part. Not only that, we have to learn about the integrations as well. You might be using some VS Code to automate the process of Git workflow. Those things will be covered under applications. And then reminders is all about when you have done with the task, I want to send some notifications. Maybe Slack notifications or email notifications, which comes under reminders. Then followed by organizations. For example, if you have multiple GitHub accounts, how will you organize them together under single dashboard? We can also look into that as part of organization. If you want to go for licensed one, for a paid support or some additional features, we have to use GitHub Enterprise. Right now we are talking about open source and we will talk about GitHub Enterprises as well. And then we learn what are the basic differences we have in open source and in enterprise. And then followed by developer settings. For example, instead of using username password based authentication, in certain scenarios we have to use a token, which is called as PAT. So we will talk about how to create those tokens under developer settings and many more. After that, we need to talk about billing and the quotas that is provided in GitHub. And then also we have to monitor. And then followed by troubleshooting, which is so important for us when you fall into certain scenarios where we have to troubleshoot and fix that issues. That will be learning as part of troubleshooting. And then followed by conclusion. How this particular training program will help you to survive in the IT industry as part of DevOps or DevSecOps or any other cloud engineer. These are the topics what I'm going to cover as part of this training program. Thank you.